Nope. Okay, we're almost there. Hey! Hey!
Hello. All right, there we go.
Oh, okay, hang on.
Hello. Hello.
Okay, there. That was our audio check. Don't like it? Deal with it, bitches. Motherfucking pop filter from hell. Sorry, this pop, like this pop filter. There's a reason why I bought that pop filter. It's because I hate this pop filter. But I feel like, so I went online to get some new pop filters, and the $5 pop filters are gone, and all that's left are the $8 like metal cast pop filters, which I was like,
Oh.
that's a bit much, but I'll get them eventually. It's just I've got a lot of things I need to buy and a lot of approval to get from the main money source, my wife. So I think I'm up to like 60, maybe $60 of things I want to buy for this.
For just this podcast?
Just this pot. No. Well, okay, so for this, so one of the things I've been working on, I'm like dramatically trying to drink water from the wrong end. So I need those pop filters and a new mic stand. But the other thing that I want is there's like so maybe it's like more. Yeah, I think it's more so the mic stand's like $20.
Do you want? I bought a mic stand.
No, don't do that because that's gonna take too much. I want to buy another mic stand just for in here.
Yeah, but I can bring it in.
No. That's gonna be more work.
Okay.
Because then I don't have to set that up every day. It's a pain in the ass. I just want to buy a mic stand and it'll just fucking sit here and just do nothing while you're gone. And then when you come back, I'll have it all set up and we'll be like. But anyways, so I need to get another mic stand that's like $20. The two pop filters are gonna be like. Yeah, so that's going to be like 26, okay. And then I need like $25 in materials. I've been doing live cooking streams on Twitch.
Really?
Yeah. Don't get mad at me. One of the cooking streams was the Davis family Hungarian mushroom soup.
I'm not mad as long as you didn't butcher it.
All
right, here's the deal. I know you didn't get it right because it's been changed 5,000 times.
Yeah, so I did it the way that I set it up to make a massive amount, and I'll be honest with you, it doesn't taste quite as right. It seems a little too milky, like a little too light. Like you need some more.
I've always said that
flavor,
earthy,
yeah.
flavor. It's mushroom soup.
Well, so the mushrooms and stuff are fine, but like I think there needs to be more spices or something in there.
You got to go. You balance of oils and broths versus milks.
Yeah.
This
soup, which I'm gonna refer you to my Twitch page if you want to see how I made it. Okay, but what I'm going to say about the soup is it's like, it's a lot of complicated shit in it. There's fucking soy sauce in there. Like, it was like, the first time you sent me that, I was like, what in the hell is this shit he's trying to get me to make? And then I made it, and I was like, God damn. No, you made it. I think you made it one day, and like, Cooper
fucking loved it.
Yeah,
he was like, give me more.
The best. He's like, this is hearty. This is great. And I tried to stick with that hearty stuff, but I know the one thing that's off is the broth, the milk, and all that. It's just too.
Yeah.
That I undercooked the parsley. You need to cook that parsley a little more, I think.
And it depends on what kind of broth you use. If you're using chicken versus vegetable, it's gonna have two different flavors.
Yeah, you know what? I used vegetable, and I definitely wanted to switch back to chicken.
Yeah.
Because I'm not making it for anybody other than myself.
Right.
I don't give a fuck. Like I don't care. Before I was like, it has to be a vegetarian. We have to appease the vegetarians.
Right.
Because 90% of my job at the deli was to get the fucking vegetarians off my back.
That was it. Well, we were in Saints Rest, and I don't want to like stereotype it, but I think the majority of the Saints Rest customers that came to the deli were vegetarian or vegan.
They were liberal arts college students.
Yeah.
And they have a variety of unique tastes, is to put it the best way. I would say, like, the most polite. And it was one of those things where I was, like, every day trying to hustle different types of people. And it was difficult. Because, like, Todd's solution was, like, vegans, hummus, and pita.
That was it.
I'm sorry, but not every vegan is like, ooh, hummus and pita.
Hold up. He did he did give them variety by grilling the hummus first.
Oh my God, yeah, that was.
Which it was good.
No, he grilled the pita first, not the
or
hummus. Don't grill the hummus.
Pita.
You.
But a little oil and salt and pepper.
Be prepared for a long one today, guys, too, because Darian's open and my wife doesn't come home till 5:30.
Yes.
All over myself.
And I can just imagine like what you were thinking when you picked this up. I'm gonna drink it, and then it just all go.
It's like a fapping like noise. So yeah, so that's what I've been working on lately. So for these IRL cooking streams, IRL stands for in real life.
Okay.
For these cooking streams on Twitch, because that people are starting to get into, I want to buy. There's this fucking phone holder tripod thing with like octopus legs, so then you can just like do whatever you want with it. The only downside is it's very similar to this fucking thing, which does nothing you want it to say. It doesn't do anything you want it to do. So that's the downside, but I'm like, it's going to be a lot better option because I've been setting my phone against things and around things, and it's just, it looks slightly shitty. Oh my God, who? Ted Harry. Sup, homies? What's up, Ted Harry? Who's Ted Harry?
I have no idea.
You don't know. Great, neither of us know who Ted Harry is.
If I know you, I'm sorry. I don't know you right now.
We know that we appreciate you right now.
I do appreciate
Ted Harry. Thanks for dropping in.
You want to know what I made the other night?
I
made double breaded barbecued chicken strips and mozzarella cheese balls.
That sounds good.
It was great.
Did you have a fryer?
Air fryer.
I'm jealous.
I air fried those motherfuckers.
I want a fryer so bad because my food sucks.
You want an air fryer? Listen, it tastes better.
It's actually pretty nice today.
It is nice.
Yeah, normally our weather is like sucks balls.
Well, my car was completely covered in ice yesterday.
My car still looks like an icicle. Like it's still. I don't know why the ice hasn't come off my car yet, but it's still on my car.
See,
and it's annoying.
Here in Iowa, you fucking
Christopher Goodrich. What's up?
All right.
Sorry.
So here in Iowa, you wake up and it could be 67 degrees, and then the next day you could have an ice storm, and the next day you could have 8 foot of snow. And then 3 days from there, it could be all melted, and we could have floods and
Iowa.
ponds in places we've never had ponds before.
Yeah, welcome to Iowa.
Iowa.
That's our lovely weather. I was so pissed because so we had really nice weather Sunday.
It was 50 degrees.
Yeah, and I took my car out and washed it, and then drove directly into a puddle. Like it was all over my car. I was like, God damn it. I think the only thing that saved it, was they have like an anti-beating feature. Or like it's like the shit they spray on your car makes not anti-beating, it makes water beat on your car, so then it hopefully just rolls off and takes the dirt with it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's nice.
You know, what I hate is when you pull out of the, if you pull out of the car wash, which you car wash it, you don't go, sometimes I would go to my parents and I'll use a hose or whatever, but when I car wash it, pull out, getting done with the dry cycle, and all of a sudden it starts pouring. Oh. And you're just like,
oh, that's
spent $5 for this?
I don't wash my car enough for that problem. I've never had that issue.
Yeah.
So I was so I go and I wash my car, right, though, but this is the funny thing is I pull up to do the vacuuming thing, because when I wash my car, I do the full, I vacuum the shit out of that thing, I pull all the flaps out and vacuum under that, I wipe it down with my internal car wipes that I have, and then I run it through what I call the lazy wash or the laser wash. It depends on what you really want to call it, but I think it's the lazy wash. Anyways, I pull up to go vacuum, and there's this dude there. He's wearing a belt. He's wearing a fucking belt. And his pants, he's bent into his car, working on it. And his pants, they're not halfway down his ass, Darian. They are all the way at the bottom. of his ass. Too cold. 95 here for you. Oh my! Where are you from, Ted Harry?
Wow.
That's
95.
I would go to be. I would love 95-degree weather.
I don't see that's high. 70 to 80 is my ideal temp.
Well, so that's why they say Hawaii is so wonderful. Is like the weather's so, like it's like 70 degrees constant, and like when it rains, it's just like little rains, and then it's done. Like you're
right,
good. And that's year round.
I like it.
So, anyways, so I'm there. This guy's pants are not halfway down his ass; they're at the bottom of his butt cheeks. Like, I swear to God, if the wind blew, you would hear his butthole whistle. Like it was, it was so gross.
I think he's trying to convey that he's fully open for business.
I think, well, and this isn't like, like, I mean, there's that stereotype that it's like, oh, look at them, like, and they be like, yo, homies and shit. No, this was a full-grown white-ass American man with his butt, like his whole butt. Look, if your butt cracks out, that's fine. I'm that guy. I bend over my butt crack shows. I don't give a fuck. But when it's down to the bottom of your cheeks, oh,
plumber
the other
plumber
side
crack.
Of the ball. Australia?
Damn.
Hey,
hello.
That's cool. Thank you for watching. So his butt cheeks are out, and I'm like, bro, pull up your pants.
See,
man.
Plumber crack is perfectly acceptable in Iowa, but past plumber crack, which is a solid, I don't know, what would you call that?
Like, you could run your credit card through the whole thing.
Inch.
You could run your credit card straight through and it'll come out the other end, no pants interruption. And he had a belt on. That's my problem, is you have a belt on. What's the point of your belt?
Style.
That's not style. That's like, that's cold.
It's like when people wear their hat, but they wear it like this, or like this, where you see them, they're like mostly flat bill hats, and they wear it like just on their head, which is
anti-purpose for a hat. Like, if it stops being functional, you shouldn't wear it. That's my opinion. I've never understood that.
See, I understand flat bills. It's a style preference, but I don't wear them. Yeah. It doesn't look good on me. But when you pull it up and it just sits there.
Yeah. It's like there's no point. It's not shading your head. It's not, unless the sun is. Nope, not gonna give an excuse for that one. Anyways.
I'm going until it falls off.
Oh my God! The funny thing is your hair is going with it. Like, your hair is following your hat. It's awesome. Anyways, so I was doing the IRL cooking streams, and I wanted to do the octopus stand for my phone.
Right.
And then I want to get like a really long, like, you can get lav mics that'll plug directly into your phone and you can hook it up. So my audio quality will be good, my video quality will be as good as my phone is, and then you'll hook that into, I don't know.
Yeah. I get what you're saying.
Yeah, so then that would be nice. And then I started working on, so I've been doing that, and I did this weird soup from the movie Chef. Did you so one of the things was Todd was obsessed with the movie Chef. Did you ever watch that?
I thought I almost cried because I was so inspired by it.
Were you? I thought it was a good movie. I was never inspired by it.
It was a good movie. I was inspired in the fact that I would love to travel the world and cook for people like that.
That would be nice. I wouldn't want to drive though. I would.
See, here's the deal.
You drive. I'll run the truck.
You want to hear the situation?
Let's do it. Fucking tomorrow.
So what happened is I watched that movie. The next day, I set up a Kickstarter that failed, by the way.
You set up a Kickstarter.
Miserably failed. For a, I don't know if I want to say the name, but it was, God, I had the name of the business. It was something fair, like, the traveling fair, which fair as in, like, food fair, F-A, like.
Oh, okay.
Fairway. That kind of spelled like fairway, because fairway means like to travel and spread your goods. Fair.
That's nice.
So I had the traveling fair, as in.
I like it.
And that was my idea. And my idea was, I fucking don't want to say it all, but I'm going to say it because it's not, probably won't happen.
Well, so far, you've got Christopher Goodrich, which I think he's too good of a friend to steal that idea. Chris, we'll fucking hunt you down.
Right.
So, in your truck if you run away. Sorry, we're kidding. And then we've got Ted Harry, who won't be competition because he'll be traveling Australia.
Right.
So don't worry. And then my sister, who's got the Korean market down, she's looking for something to do. So.
The idea behind it was to buy fresh local ingredients from everywhere I go, and somehow try to make like a cultural experience. So if I go to Louisiana, where they have like Cajun food, bring them a little like taste from like barbecue or some Californian like ahi tuna, and have that, which you wouldn't be able to do in Louisiana, have fresh ahi tuna. Okay. But what I'm trying to say is with providing to the local market, one, and two, making it a cultural experience for everybody, and then travel all across the world like that, and stop in places, which I understand you need to get a proper license for every state you go to. I think for every town you're in, you need a...
Can you imagine that? Have to come up with 50 states of licenses?
But see, that's when you would pick and choose, really.
Yeah,
you would think about it. You're not going to stop in, I'm sorry, but most people are going to go to main, bigger cities, you know.
Yeah. Well, that's where you're going to make your money.
Yeah, so... the flyover states are going to be the ones where, you know,
You've got this grand vision. I want to buy like a grill, like I want a small little building downtown, and I want to make grilled cheeses all day and the soup.
Right.
And if someone's like, it's 95 degrees out, it's summer, I don't want a grilled cheese, I just want a sandwich. I'll be like, here's some bread, here's some meat and some mayo. There you go. Get out of my shop. Like, I'm a grilled cheese guy. Like I was talking to this one guy at the deli, and he's like, yeah, man, hot food. Everybody wants hot sandwiches. There we go. Everybody wants hot sandwiches. That doesn't matter what the heat is.
I had a guy come in when we were at the deli, just real quick. I had a guy come in. I asked him if he wanted toasted. He goes, fuck yeah, I don't fuck with cold food.
Right?
He said that just like that.
Hot. So grilled cheese shop with soup and then chips. You can get chips. Round the other... Oh, no. That's his comment already. Sorry, Ted Harry. I thought you re-commented. But anyways, chips, soup, grilled cheese. People are like, oh, you should make salads. Fuck salads. I hate salads. Like,
would you... Remember when you were trying to push so hard for smoothies? A smoothie machine?
Yeah. I mean...
Would you implement that in the summer?
No.
No?
No.
Just hot.
Someone else can open a goddamn smoothie shop. I'll just do hot sandwiches, soup, and I'll do what I'm good at, and I'll love it.
Would you do a variation of grilled cheeses? You would like do...
Well, yeah. So it would be a la carte grilled cheese. So I just have a shitload of supplies, and you can pick like one or two things to throw in that grilled cheese. You can pick 3 cheeses and then 1 or 2 things to throw in that grilled cheese.
So would you do like pork carnita?
Yeah.
Kinda...
That would be like a special day, though. Like, I'd be like, I got pork carnitas today. Because fuck dealing with pork every day. Like, I'm sorry. Shit. That's the worst. And I would sell burnt pork, Todd. Deal with it.
None of you guys even know what dealing with pork carnitas.
Would I do that? No, I won't. Way would I do that to a friend?
Why would I? I think
he's saying no way would Christopher Goodrich do that to his friend. He's a good friend.
He's a good friend.
He loves us. I mean you. Anyways. I'm just gonna that would be
I remember him. I thought there's so many Christopher Goodriches that I know. So I went and I saw which one this was.
You fucking kidding me?
No.
You have a lot of Christopher Goodriches that you know.
I promise.
I'm so sorry, Chris.
So I looked into it and I remembered him from high school. And I remember specifically, he was my buddy Bubba, and he was Bubba. He's my buddy. And
buddy Bubba. That sounds like you're describing your grandma.
One time I was angry.
It's my buddy Bubba.
My Italian grandma.
Yes, this is my buddy Bubba.
One time I was angry, and then I saw Christopher, and I was like, I can't be angry anymore. but I was still like angry. But like, I can't be angry when I'm seeing Christopher. So what I did was I angrily walked up to him, and I wanted to just keep walking straight because I was mad. I angrily walked up to him. I bear hugged him. I turned him around, spun him behind me, so then I could just continue forward. I didn't move around him. I moved him.
You wanted to stay angry, so you moved that positive force out of your life.
But I did it in such a way that it was there's a funny, positive way of doing it.
Well, it's funny now. I'm sure back then you were back to like going fuck life after like Chris was behind you, your buddy Bubba.
Well, for that split minute of me picking him up and turning him around, I was happy.
You were happy.
I wasn't mad anymore, and then I continued being fuck off.
Okay. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. Oh my god. So okay, so we opened up a topic. The title of our stream. Should we talk about gun control? This is okay. Just to give a little context, because I mean Ted Harry over here, who says thoughts on gun control, pro or con. There we go. Like Ted Harry's ahead of us right now.
Already.
So what we're talking about right now.
Oh, quick! If anybody's watching. You still have that Twitter thing where it pops up? Bing.
Yeah, if you hit us up on Twitter, that's what I was fucking with.
Test that out.
But if you hit us up on Twitter, like if you tweet us, like a Twitter thing will pop up, or should. You should tweet us to let us know if it works, because I've never tested it.
Just say no, and we'll just like no, it doesn't work.
So to give a little context on gun control, what's going on right now? There was a shooting in Florida the other day, last week I think actually. Mm-hmm. How many students? 26?
I thought it was 17. The number
rised? It's probably 17.
The number might have rose since I think there's some people in critical condition or whatever.
There was a lot of students died.
So.
A kid bought an AR-15, walked in, shot up the school.
He was 19 too.
Yeah. He was, and I don't want to get too much.
Here's the deal. You
can get into the details if you feel more comfortable on them.
Here in Iowa, I have to be 21 to possess a pistol.
Yeah. 21,
and I have to go through a background check, and I cannot buy a pistol without going through strict
How old do you have to be to get an AR-15?
In Iowa?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's 21. I think it's 21 across the board.
So what I've heard is
a
pistol's 21 all across the board. But an AR-15 all across the board is 18.
Because shotguns are 18. You can be 18 to possess a shotgun.
An AR-15, I think, is in that range. And you can still, up until recently, you can buy bump stocks. I think they're going to get rid of bump stocks.
Yeah.
I think bump stocks are going. They already banned it at Brownells. So the guy who runs Brownells, so in our hometown, Brownells is the main... Like, I mean, it's here.
It's
a gun store. And the guy who
like
runs Brownells here is also the leader of the NRA. That guy,
really?
Yeah, that's the president of the NRA.
Well, because our Brownells is a huge building.
And
nationally, our Brownells is one of the biggest.
Yeah, the last shooting, I think in Las Vegas, I want to say, because that was the last one that really had a lot to do with the AR-15 again. He banned the bump stock from Brownells. He said, okay, we're going to stop doing this.
Right.
And now the President Trump is, you can go to Vegas and buy one. There is your problem. You can go to Vegas and buy one. There is your problem. Oh, true. So the President actually is now setting forth to have legislation made to ban bump stocks.
Mm-hmm.
And anything that makes converting things into automatic or semi-automatic, he's going to make that a thing. So here's the thing, okay? Living in America right now, the toughest thing is like, you can't get on Facebook without anyone fighting. Facebook, Twitter, all of them. Everyone's fucking battling.
I am good on Facebook. On Twitter, I go for it.
I've seen you on Twitter going for it.
I go for it on both ends too. I'm like fucking up people left. I'm not fucking up. I'm only fucking up myself. Yeah. Like it only hurts me.
So everyone's like, you can't get away from it. It's stressing me out because I'm like, Jesus Christ, I just want to get on Facebook and look. Okay, here's the thing. Here's what I'm gonna say. Facebook is not for your goddamn political opinion.
Right. I try to be very...
It is for pictures of your kids. It's for your vacation pictures. It's people want to catch up and see what's going on in your lives. They don't give a fuck about your opinion. Or if they do, it pisses them off and it's just ruining Facebook. You're not doing anything for anybody.
I think that's where they go to Twitter for. That's what people go to Twitter for.
Twitter is interesting. I don't mind it as much on Twitter, but I'm not on Twitter as much. I've just gotten on Twitter more recently because of Twitch.
You can... Well, what's the character limit now for Twitter?
I don't know. Like 91, maybe 100?
More than that, because they raised it.
120.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I get stopped a lot. Like, I'm like,
see, I thought they raised it to 200 recently. I can look at it. Anyways, Twitter is very, like you have limited characters to type in.
Okay.
So you can make, like, quick points on Twitter. And that's what people always want, just quick points. But then you see these posts of, like, threads. Point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all, because, you can't write out a whole paragraph like on Facebook. But... I think Facebook is more professional. More people look at your Facebook page if you're trying to get a job. More people look, at your Facebook page to connect with you.
That's why I actually make my Facebook page completely private. Only friends and stuff are supposed to be able to see it. Is so then I don't have like possible employers. And I actually made a fake, like a second Jared Deem account. So they go to that, and that's more like a resume.
Right.
You got to get fucking crafty.
Do you still have your LinkedIn account, or did you?
I do. I used it recently. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you?
I've not used it. I don't see a need for it currently where I'm at in my life.
I'm not kidding. It comes in handy in unexpected ways.
How so?
So
we're moving off topic here a little bit.
Hang on. I tried tweeting you guys out a couple of minutes. Don't think it works. God. Damn it. Okay, well, thank you, Christopher Goodrich. Thank you so much. So here's what I'm going to say. Let's get back on gun control, and then we'll come back to LinkedIn.
Okay.
I want to rant for a second, okay?
Go for it.
I already ranted, but I'm going to rant. And this is actually really interesting. I'm really excited about Ted Harry, because Ted Harry is from Australia, and that is a place where gun control is
strict,
implemented. I would love to know his thoughts on how well it's working for your country. I've heard positive things.
See, we hearsay. It's all hearsay for us.
I've heard positive things, but we have someone on the actual broadcast that can say, like, this is working great or this fucking sucks. So that's great. So here's the thing. Here's what I'm gonna rant, okay? And I'm gonna direct this towards the NRA specifically. Now you might think, oh my God, he's gonna go all ape shit and stuff. I find myself very neutral and conflicted. One of the things about gun control, so in our Constitution it says, you have the right to bear arms.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that people don't read fully out, though, is you have the right to bear arms under the circumstance of being in a militia.
Well-regulated militia.
Yeah.
Not just a fucking, we're a militia now. Yeah. God damn it, I'm sorry.
That's fine. It's still holding.
But a well-regulated, maintained militia. I'm sorry. I just covered this in my government class.
Yeah, so here's the thing, okay? You don't just have the right to bear any fucking arm you want. You're supposed to be a part of a militia. Like, that's in the Constitution. If you want to hold the Constitution up, you need to be in a militia. If you want that having your back, be in a militia. Now, I'm not saying boo guns and boo having guns. I'm actually pro forming militias. I think what needs to happen is that we need to start having militias. I think that's a part of the solution. If we want to be pro-gun, if we want to hold everything together, we need to have a militia. Because here's the thing, okay? So that Las Vegas motherfucker, he's buying 50, 60 guns. That guy needs to be a part of a militia. He's going to have a brotherhood of people who are going to look at him and go, why the fuck do you have 60 guns? What are you planning in Vegas? They're going to watch him. Like, they're not just going to be like, oh my God, I'm so surprised. That's not going to happen. He's not going to be a lone wolf anymore. You have to be a part of a group, so you're going to have people who can see you. Now,
here's where the argument comes into play. I like being here because we're both in the middle. But the argument for this is that the NRA is partially a militia in some sorts.
Okay, start talking, then keep talking, and I'll finish up.
They're suggesting that the NRA is a militia. The NRA being gun rights, and as a group of people, members, and it's well regulated. They have meetings. They are lobbyists. All of this, that is kind of in a sense a militia because they're gun owners but me and you, we're not part of the NRA. So there's where the conflict is is the NRA really technically a militia? Well, I don't think so, but some people do.
So here's my beef, right? Okay. This is where I continue. I'm gonna read. So Ted Harry says this. He says, people seem to immediately think of total bans when the topic of gun control comes up. It doesn't have to be a total ban. We have guns, just not military weapons. I'm into that idea. I know there's a lot of fight, and I think that's where the idea of a regulated militia comes in. I think if you want to be like, if you want to have a concealed carry or an open carry, and you go through the licensing and stuff, that's fine. I think if you want to be carrying around semi-automatic weapons and shit like that, or if you want to carry around an AR-15 with a converted bump stock, you should be in a militia. And why do I think militias need to exist? Is because the government is no longer scared of us. Okay?
Yeah.
They don't give a fuck about us. They make laws without having any fears. They are more worried about the people who are putting money in their pockets for lobbying and shit like that than our own general interests. They don't care. If we had like 1 billion militias and we're starting to get tired of their shit and start clinging to our military weapons a little tighter, they might go, oh, fuck, we should give a shit about what they have to say.
Right.
That's my own personal idealistic opinion. I know it's a big dream, but that's just my own personal opinion.
A little light to be said on your government control. Basically what you're saying is they have too much power.
Yeah.
Right? And they don't listen to the people.
Yeah.
They listen to the rich. What is going on right now across national states and everything, they are trying to amend the Constitution by saying that the federal government has too much power and it needs to be brought down and spread over the state government, which is in turn spreading a little light, giving the people a little more voice.
States' rights, yeah.
Yes.
I still think though we're talking about the entire Republican Party, the entire Democratic Party. That involves the people who are in charge of our states as well.
Mm-hmm.
They're not afraid of us. They
right.
need to be afraid of us. That was the point. That was the point of the constitutional, you have the right to bear arms under a well-regulated militia. That's the point.
If
they should be afraid of us.
Start going crazy, like what happened in Europe and England and multiple European countries, actually, if they start going crazy, they have somebody, a militia, to step in and say, enough, we got to break it down.
The only reason why I bring this up in the debate of gun control is because if you're going to cling to the right to bear arms, you need to understand what you're talking about.
Exactly.
And I think that's a thing that everyone's and Ted Harry's right. Everyone's jumping to, oh my God, a total ban. So my sister brought this up. If you look at Japan, okay, guns are actually regulated like cars. First of all, you can only own pistols. Okay, in Japan, you can only own pistols. Second of all, the police are actually trained in martial arts. They rarely have weapons. They're trained in martial arts. And what happens is when you want to get a gun in Japan, you have to go through regular licensing programs. You have to go through accuracy tests, written tests. You have to go through an accuracy test. You have to know how to shoot that thing and shoot it well. You can't just willy-nilly shoot that thing. You have to go through an accuracy test. You have to go through a written test. You have to go through all this shit before you can even own just a pistol. I want to say maybe shotguns are on there too, or something similar, but it's just like it's like 2 types of guns and that's it. Whenever they're dealing with like most of what like they deal with in crime in Japan is like disorderly drunken likeness. They have these foam pads and they wrap the motherfuckers up and tackle them. So they get like 3 of them together.
They'll
grab the foam pads and wrap the guy up and take him down, and that works for them.
That's safety. That's like I'm looking out for you.
Well, and it's so then like you're not having like. Because we're like here we have like regular incidences of like 15 cops tackling a guy, choking him out until they die, or shooting a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can all have guns, so they never know if someone's going to pull a gun on them. Like that guy who was like in the hotel. They caught this guy in a hotel hallway.
The kid.
Yeah.
The kid.
And they were like, hey, come closer. Don't you reach for your anything. I want to see your hands at all times. And he like reached to pull his pants up and they fucking murdered him. Right. He was an innocent man. Like, didn't even have a reason. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah. Just in that room that he came out of, they had...
Harry. Sorry. Second Amendment is outdated. It was written during civil unrest in 1791. No guns will save you against drones or tanks. Militia is a poor excuse. We have reserve military and democracy.
Okay, we don't have democracy. We don't. It's moving towards democracy, but
I understand. Here's what I'm going to say. I understand that there are tanks and nukes and bombs and all that shit. But if you want to compare the British military to the American colonized military back in the back in the Revolutionary War, it may not be proportionally equal, but they were outgunned and they were out. Like they were expected to be wiped off the face of America. Mm-hmm. The colonies were, and the reason why they won was because they were smarter. Okay, and I'm not saying we're smarter than the military, but I'm saying there's a chance, and the government should be scared of us. That's my own personal opinion on the militia. And that's again, it's just a dream, and it's to bring up the point that if you want to hide behind the Second Amendment, like as an excuse to ban guns or to not ban guns. Or not even have the discussion. This is what's frustrating me, okay? And this is going to be my second point. Is if you want to hide behind the Second Amendment to not have the discussion, okay, you need to understand the Second Amendment. This is my problem, and this is where I'm bringing up the NRA, okay? The NRA is spending their money lobbying for people to stop any sort of conversation about banning guns or fixing the problem. Their ultimate goal is they don't want guns banned. I mean, is that an agreed thing?
It is very
It would be in their best interest not to have people banning guns. Your money is being half spent. Okay, you're spending your goddamn money on lobbying for these people, and all our politicians are doing is nothing. They're just making excuses to shut down conversations about fixing the problem. Okay? If you want your money, if you want bang for your buck, you need to be giving people a reason to not take away guns, which means you need to be finding creative ways to fix the problem. Not to stop having the conversation, but to fix the problem and fix it fucking soon. Too many people have died at this point to not have the conversation to fix something. And there are conversation pieces out there, but everyone's like, oh, you're banning guns. So what's happening is you got like politicians like Trump, Scott Walker, you name them. And they're like, oh, they want to ban guns. NRA, you need to pay them to learn how to have that conversation and to find more creative ways to fix the problem. They need to do everything but stop the conversation because you're still having people on your ass about banning guns. You're only half spending your money. Go out there to those people you're lobbying and hold them to a higher expectation. I'm sorry. That's my opinion. They're only half spending their fucking money.
Right. So I don't have really an opinion on NRA lobbying, but I do want to say sorry, is there?
Oh, yeah. Okay, so since the Revolutionary War, we had Hitler. He taught us, If one individual follows blindly, genocide ensues. Do you think your army would blindly follow orders to kill its own people these days?
Yes. Here's my argument for that. I have military family and friends. Okay. Do I think my grandpa would kill me if the government said so? No. But do I think that with technology moving forward, have you seen Black Mirror?
I just started watching it last night.
Listen, you don't have to watch. You don't have to watch any of the episodes in order at all.
Yeah, you don't have to.
But I'm not gonna spoil it for you. But there's one episode in there, which this isn't spoiling it because it's just telling you what it's about.
Okay.
There's one episode in there where they put like a thing in their eye that, you know, in their brain. You can record memory.
Okay.
You can see better. You can like, and it can also change
shit, but okay.
Change what you see. Like you can blur people out and stuff.
Oh, that's interesting.
So, anyways, with that, we have technology that moving forward, and we have the ability to, what you said, towards the government having a ton of control, and they're no longer afraid of us. How do we stop? If we have a whole government that's not afraid of us, how do we stop that trickling down of military that's not afraid of us? Of them not having this moral compass saying, no, we can't kill civilians. Well, it's not about them killing civilians. It's about them getting too much power, them having all this shit. That's why we need a militia to regulate that, so that they are no longer, so that they don't move from democracy to monarchy. Is what we're saying. We don't want what happened in England to ever happen again, where taxes rise so fucking much, and
we're already beyond the point where, like, we really are. Like, if you
we're moving.
We're well past what they fought for. When it comes to taxes, we are taxed beyond what they started a war over.
I understand. But it's this whole idea. It's this whole idea of the Second Amendment. What Ted Harry, I apologize if I am offending you, but what you were saying is that we don't need the Second Amendment. Well, we had a totally different background than every other country there has been. We moved away. We have migrated. We have a
you keep talking
different background. We have the Second Amendment for a totally different reason.
There, I wanted to make sure we could read everything coming up.
Yeah, I need to wear glasses because I can't read anything. I actually have glasses.
Oh,
that
shit.
I'm supposed to
Here
read.
we go.
But anyways, we have the Second Amendment.
It says you can't offend me. I'm Australian.
Okay, good. All right,
I love
let's
that.
go.
Thank you.
So
Let's go.
my idea here is it's not about war. It's about being able to impose equally. If the military can impose on us, not kill us, but impose strength on us, what are we going to do? Bow down and let them kick us in the ass? No, we need to be able to impose back, be able to regulate.
You just put a smiley face. Sorry.
That's my idea on that.
I'm just thinking, like, honestly. Okay, so you're talking about one individual, okay? Hitler was I don't know if you would specifically describe him as a dictator. I think you would.
Yeah.
However, our government is separated into different chunks. So, for instance, we have had pushes for things like the Dreamers program. We want that to live. If you look at the left has things that they want to happen, and the right has things that they want to happen. The Republicans, the Democrats. And it's funny because my hands are switched, so it might look weird to you guys. I do apologize. Anyways, we have been able to stop things. So the way that our government is broken up, it does make it more difficult. However, the way that Trump works, I mean, he has a really easy time influencing the masses. And I'm not saying Trump is Hitler or he's going to do that stuff. I don't agree with that. I think saying Trump is Hitler is ridiculous. Overreach. And this is why we're having this conversation, is because we like to aim down the middle. There are too many voices out there who are like, like all the Democrats are snowflake pansies,
CNN
and all the right
Fox.
wings are Nazi murderers. Yeah, that's bullshit. So what I'm gonna say is the left and the right have been squabbling and they've been stopping things. Trump himself has a lot of influence. The scary thing is once someone does something once, you can study that and figure out how to do it again. And that's what's terrifying. And that's what politicians do, is they study what's been done and how people do it, and they try and replicate what's most effective. And what's terrifying is Trump is super effective. He is super effective in anything he wants to do, manipulating the masses. So I think it's possible. In me, I like to believe the best. So I don't know. I don't know. But my thing right now is I'm most frustrated about the fact that nothing is getting done.
Right. I am glad that Trump is willing to look at this case, especially the AR-15 case in general.
Yeah, he's starting to play ball, which is really not it's.
Yeah.
But I want to put that in a place where you can read it better and not block Darian.
So I want to talk logistics of gun control and what I think and what you think should happen. You want to start with that? Or?
I think we need to be dumping all our money into mental health checks, and then that needs to be 100%. If you're going to buy a gun, you have to be mentally stable. And I think honestly, I don't see why that keeps getting lost in the arguments.
It keeps not becoming an argument. It keeps random kids keep saying mental health, but it never becomes an argument. It's just always just this background idea.
Here's what I don't like about Trump is the fact that last year Obama put in things for mental health screenings to stop people from buying guns, and Trump immediately took it out, and not because it was effective or ineffective. He took it out because Obama did it.
Exactly. That's why he took out a lot of stuff.
He's a petty little bitch sometimes, and I'm tired of it. When you put your own petty feelings over
the feelings of the masses,
over the well-being of our country, you're failing at your job. Right. Ted Harry, I think the reason gun control goes nowhere is because it's a multi-level argument that goes in circles. One issue at a time. Should gangbangers with pistols be considered militia? That's
that's a militia that is not for government control.
I wouldn't say they would be considered a militia because 90% of the time they have not obtained their weapons legally.
But again, they're not government controlled. They're a militia. They're a militia on the street. They're a street militia.
Yeah,
that's it.
But my personal opinion, the reason why that doesn't fly is because they're not obtaining their weapons legally.
Well, they have Uzis, fully automatic weapons.
I mean, that's kind of the frustrating thing. I think, and I also think a lot of people are forgetting to separate the arguments when they're talking about the strictest place with gun controls, like Chicago, and they have the highest gun violence. Well, gangs are different than terrorist attacks. We're trying to stop different things, and I think that's the point that Ted brought up that I highly appreciate, is that they're separate arguments, and we have to learn how to separate our issues and our facts before we make those arguments.
I hate when people bring up DUIs as being, you don't regulate booze or whatever to stop DUIs, and you don't, all these other.
Well, the one that makes me laugh is the car issue. Yeah. They're I don't see people. I don't see the Democrats looking for car control. It exists. It's called licensing.
Yeah, licensing.
You have to license your vehicle. You have to have a license yourself. You have to go through regular, at least eye checks to make sure. And we have a strike system that if you were pulled over 3 times, if you have so many odd times of being pulled over and having issues, they take your license away. And then if you decide to go drive illegally, then you're outside of the law and you end up in jail.
And then
it's the like if they were to put something similar with guns, it would be a different ball game.
Right.
You know?
And then you have 14-year-old permit, 15 permit, 16 license, 17 intermediate license, 18 full license.
Well, and it promotes education with vehicles. You have to take a driving class.
Driver's ed.
I personally, my own opinion, I think we need to teach in phys ed. I think there needs to be a gun course.
There used to be. My dad, when he went to school in the 80s, they were, I think, either forced or there was a elective class.
Yeah, I think top part of it, there should be gun education on either side. I know if you're liberal on this, I consider myself leaning left, but I honestly think there needs to be gun education because then you can actually have an informative conversation as well about guns, and then it makes your statements a little bit more credible as well because a lot of people want to discredit someone who has an argument against gun violence or against gun or an argument for gun control because they don't own a gun or they don't deal with guns. I mean, I myself have shot a Russian sniper before because my buddy owns one, but like, you know, I'm not super solid on it, but that also doesn't, like, I don't get discredited because I don't have a firearm on me at all times, you know?
And see, I own a shotgun. It's in my safe because I only use it for hunting. Right.
So, okay, so hang on, let's go back with Ted. Would they fight for the right because when the time comes? Would they fight for the right because when the time comes? ? Why should they have guns if they don't help? Christopher Goodrich, what if someone gets a therapy evaluation before getting a gun or something like that to make sure everyone is right in the head? Ted Harry, what do you know about Australia's gun laws? Ted, I don't know much. I know that you guys have stricter gun laws and... I know this is so ridiculous. What's his name? There's a comedian. There's an Australian comedian who talks about it quite a bit, and he's very smart. I can't remember.
I know who you're talking about.
Jim Jeffries. I think it's Jim Jeffries.
I think so. I don't know.
This is what I'm talking about. Christopher Goodrich. That's what I think is there needs to be mental evaluations. The AR-15 issue. One kid said he was like 18. There's like a picture of him. This could be a wrong meme. I'll open it up to that idea. But he bought an AR-15 in 5 minutes.
Yep.
He was 18.
No license.
No license. No education. Nothing. He just walked in and bought one.
Again, could be a whole fake thing.
Yeah, it could be fake. But I mean, they said that the kid who like shot Florida up didn't take him long at all to get an AR-15.
Right. Which
like,
is see, my issue is when people have an issue, they think that the people against gun or for gun control want to take away everybody's guns, all the guns. They don't want that. They want gun control, as in you certain things, certain guns, certain ways of possessing guns are harder or overall banned.
And then the argument comes up that makes me laugh, they're gonna find a way. Like they're criminals. So they're gonna find a way to get one anyways. And it's like, is that an excuse to make it to leave it easy? Like you still want it hard for them to get it.
No, listen.
If you want your criminals to be crafty, let them be crafty. I'm not gonna damn well risk it. Like make it easier for them.
Right. So you have gang members who have automatic weapons, fully automatic weapons. That doesn't mean we can't see the comparison there is, criminals are going to be able to get it anyways. Well, yes, if you ban all guns so that the public can't own a gun and defend themselves against the criminal, that's one thing. But saying that, if you ban this gun and the criminal's going to get an AR-15, well, who the fuck is walking around downtown Grinnell with an AR-15? Nobody. You can't defend against a criminal with an AR-15 when you don't have an AR-15. When you defend, you have a pistol on you. Yeah. Cops have pistols. They don't have AR-15s.
No,
all the time.
Not true. I was gonna say
all the time. In bigger cities, in bigger places, they do have AR-15s in the back fucking seat. But on them, when they walk up to the car at a routine traffic stop on I-80, It's a pistol that they have holstered.
So let me tell you a story. This is crazy. So I'm chilling out at home one day, here, like in this house, and I look out my window, and this guy walks through my backyard, and he's holding what looks like could be an airsoft rifle. Airsoft shoots like little plastic pellets. They're not dangerous, but it's shaped like an M16 or some shit like that, like an automatic rifle, like some kind of war rifle. So he's walking around with this shit in his hand, right? Well, let's see. Ted Harry, people smart enough to get a gun illegally in Australia are smart enough to not use it.
Wait, hold on. Now, I disagree with that, because if they're smart enough to get it illegally, they're dumb for getting it illegally. You're...
I don't know about that.
Contradicting yourself.
Did he say illegally to get a gun illegally in Australia are smart enough to not use it? His point is if you're smart enough to get one illegally, like if you've gotten to the point where you know how to get one illegally, you're smart enough to not do that, to not even go through the process. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, the people. So his point is like, they're smart enough. They have the capability of getting it illegally, but they're smart enough to not do that.
Bring it.
So what you're saying is they've already done it illegally. His point is that they haven't done it illegally yet. They're just smart enough to do it.
Think about, I'm going to bring it back to some gang in Compton. You have guys there with a plethora of illegal weapons. You have 12-year-olds with illegal weapons. And that's just because it's readily available to them. How do we know that people in Australia, it's not readily available to some gangs in Australia?
Again, though, I mean, are there? Oh, Ted Harry, are there Australian gangs?
Yes, there. I know for a fact there's one. I can't remember the name of it, but it's a huge gang that comes out of Australia.
His point, though, is that if you have the capability, like if you're smart enough to know how to get an illegal weapon, you haven't done it. You're just smart enough to not get that weapon.
Some people.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, like, that's his, because your point was like, oh, they've already got the illegal weapon, that means they're dumb for doing it. This is a hypothetical. Before they even get one, they're already smart enough to not go get one, because they're smart enough to know how to get one.
I agree in some cases.
So anyway, so I was telling you that story. So, like, I'm chilling out, and this guy walks through, and it looks like it's an airsoft rifle. And, but I'm like, oh, that looks like it could be a semi-automatic. And I don't know this guy. And I'm like, what the fuck is this guy doing in my yard?
Mm-hmm.
He walks back through. Now, I live in a townhome complex, so, like, the houses are attached. So, like, I have neighbors. And so this guy walks through, and I'm like, Grace, go sit down. I'm going to talk to, I'm going to call the police just in case. Because I look outside, and he's fucking sitting on my tree over here. He's just sitting against it. So I'm like, what the fuck? So I called the police, and I said, hey, I just want to let you know, there's a guy over here. And I thought I heard the pop of the airsoft rifle. So I thought maybe he was killing the cats next door, because there's a ton of cats. Turns out this guy's a cat lover, by the way. He is one of my neighbors. Anyways, he's off there shooting his airsoft rifle. And then I see him just sitting against the tree, and it doesn't look like he's holding it anymore. But I called the police, and I just said, hey, there's a guy in my backyard. He's walking through. It looks like an airsoft rifle, but it's shaped like an M16. It looks like it could be smaller. I'm pretty sure I heard him shooting it, but it was like, the air pop sounds. And the police were like, stay on the phone. We're on our way. I was like, oh, okay. So I'm like talking to the lady, and I look out, and next door there's a fence. And then a private property next door. That's where all the cats are living. Mm-hmm. And fucking 3 cops come out from different angles on that fence. And, like, there's one with, like a pistol, like, as big as I've fucking seen in my life. And then 2 with AR-15s. And they're, like, sneaking around looking for this motherfucking guy. And he's gone. He's back in his house. I don't think he even knew what was happening. My neighbor, I worked with him at Gamers, and I, like, talked to him the next day, because, like, the police looked around, and then they knocked on my door, and then here they are holding their big-ass guns, and I'm like, hey, and they're like, you called? And I was like, yeah. I was like, I don't see him anymore. They're like, what do you look like? I told them what he looked like. They're like, all right, call us if anything ever happens again. And then they leave. But I was like, holy fucking shit. Like, they were armed to the teeth. Like, so, that guy could have died.
Did you figure out, like...
He's my neighbor 2 doors down. He loves cats. He seems like a pretty nice guy. He's got some problems. Like, he's argued with his wife quite a bit, and I think they're divorced now. And I've seen him, like, screaming at his kid outside my window, too, which is weird. But, this dude shows, like, and I'm pretty sure it was an airsoft rifle. But I talked to the landlord. I was like, I just want to let you know that this happened. And he's like, yeah, before you call the cops, please call me and then call the cops. He's like, unless something happens, like, that you have to, like, go. Like, I mean, if you need to call the cops, call right away. But also alert me as to what's going on. I'm like, okay. So I'm like, all right. But he's like, yeah, that guy's a cat lover. So I don't think he was off murdering cats. I'm like, well, I haven't seen the cats since. And the landlord's like, well, I don't mind. Because he hates the cats because they go through the garbage and all that shit.
Maybe he was waiting for his wife to come back.
So
that's a dark thought.
I think it was I'm pretty sure it was just an airsoft rifle. I don't know. And then I saw him just sitting against the tree, and he does that from time to time. He sits against that tree still. And I don't care. But I'm like, but when you're talking about, like, our police are, like, they can be armed as fuck. They are ready. In Grinnell, we have a small town. Like, it's not, yeah. But they are ready. Like, police are ready for this shit. But yeah, no. So my biggest problem, and this is the final part of my point. Okay, so I've gone on the rant. I think the NRA is not spending their money well enough. I think we need to have more education with guns in school. At least even have just like a textbook class, something. You know, something to talk about guns and then have people be educated. So when they have these conversations, we're not just going in circles. We're having some informed opinions. Mm-hmm. The last thing I really, really think is that... I had it. So the last thing that I really, really think is this idea that we need to stop making excuses to not have a conversation, because there's a lot of that out there where people are like, and this is, I will say the right is mostly guilty on this, where it's like they will say things like, they're just gonna find another way to get a gun. And here's my point, and this is why I think you need to have this conversation about doing something, and you need to be having it with your legislation as well. You don't just, you're arguing on Facebook, it's not doing anything. But here's why, is because if you keep advocating and using excuses to do nothing rather than like being productive, I've seen plenty of people on the right be productive as well. Like, I like this idea of putting veterans, like unemployed veterans, in schools. Yes, that's a cool idea. But the thing that you need to like look through your comments and see what conversations are promoting the idea of doing nothing. And you need to start realizing, if you are not a part of the conversation, like if you don't make time to show that you're interested in being a part of the conversation, someone is going to get tired of this. And I think it's today. I really feel like the students are out there having these conversations. They're really talking. If you show that you're not interested in having this conversation, someone else is going to have that conversation somewhere else. They're going to get tired of everything, and they're going to change things without your opinions, and then your guns will be taken away. That's just my personal opinion. You need to like show that you're willing to have a conversation and willing to talk about change. And compromise. Otherwise, your opinion's not going to be factored in. You're not going to have guns. Fuck off. Sorry, you were too busy saying we shouldn't do anything. We need to be more careful about the conversations we're having to show that we are interested in change. That needs to be your final point every time. We are interested in change. So when someone does get tired of it and do something, because there is a problem and something will be done, like something's going to get done. Whether it be Trump presidency, whoever's president after Trump, something's going to get done. And if you act like that, you're not going to be a part of the conversation. You could lose your guns. Get your shit together.
Yeah.
That's my own personal
opinion. Here's my final piece that I want to throw in there.
Ooh. Okay, so hang on. Let me drop in Ted. We have scary organized gangs with guns, but they rarely bring them out. You don't need a gun at a knife fight, and our cops rarely shoot anyone without seeing a gun. Gangs only use guns on each other. That's interesting. And then, yes, choose compromise or lose everything. So, okay, sorry, continue.
So, my final thoughts here are I agree with either strictly controlling AR-15s or banning them altogether. Why? Well, I'm pro-gun, okay, but I'm tired of seeing this conversation happen. I'm tired of seeing this fight. I want to see something happen to where we move in a direction. Now, my thought here is if we ban AR-15s, you're gonna see school shootings with pistols and shotguns instead of AR-15s. It's what you're gonna see.
I mean, there have been school shootings with pistols as well.
Well, that used to be the majority of mass murders. Was pistols.
Yeah, I don't think shotguns have been in a school shooting environment. Yeah, I could be wrong.
I think Columbine had. Well, there's 2 kids. I think Columbine had shotguns.
But I mean, there have been pistols before as well.
Which was the majority of mass shootings for the longest time. And then AR-15s started coming up. So let's ban or strictly make it so like make guns different classes, right? So that you have to go through even tougher hoops to get to this gun. Also, we need to just it's not about banning all guns. I know, like I said earlier, it's not about banning all guns. It's about making it harder for people to possess guns, harder for people who have mental issues to possess guns. That's what most people want. That's what I want, is for somebody who can pass all these tests, have the proper licensing, is been shown to be very responsible, and then the argument's like, well, you still got people who can just snap every day. Well, you do. You got anybody. Jared, you could fucking stand up and kill me right now.
We're not saying, we're not, and that's one of the points. That's one of my points. That point there that you were just talking about, someone could snap any day. That, when you bring that point up, you're just making an excuse to do nothing.
Right.
Okay? Bring a point to the table that works, or shut the fuck up. I'm sorry. Don't do nothing. Don't do, and think about your words. If you in the end don't have a point or don't have an idea for the conversation, you are being non-productive, and you are literally, those lives are on you too. The next lives are on you too. We need to stop not having conversations. We need to start having conversations.
To own a pistol, I need to be 21. I have to go through well, not to own one. You can have a pistol in your house before 21, but to carry.
Yeah, to carry.
So concealed carry for a pistol, you have to go through all these steps to get one.
Even open carry, you have to.
Right. So any of that, you need all these steps, and I totally agree with that. But for me, I can't wait until I'm able to have a pistol. Why? Because the world we live in is dangerous, and I want to be able to protect myself if somebody were to walk into a movie theater and start shooting up. Now that is my personal reason for wanting to own a pistol. To own an AR-15, who gives a fuck? I'm not gonna carry that around with me. So and people don't use it. Most people don't use AR-15s just randomly. When you hunt, it's a lot of times shotgun hunting.
Well, I can understand if you want to have if you're talking about this whole idea of militias, that's understandable. But then you have to commit to that. If you want an AR-15, you should be a part of a regulated militia. And then you should be watching your brothers and sisters who also have AR-15s. And you should be giving a shit about them. Because these guys who go and kill people, they're lonely, they're sad, they have issues. And I'm not saying it's going to fix the issue if they had a friend. but it might fucking help. I'm just saying, like,
I hate when a mass shooting comes up. Mass shooting, the first thing to be brought up is gun control. What I would like to see happen before mass gun control is looking at mental health. Things first, looking at mental health, looking at in the school situations where how are they being brought up in school? Are their teachers assholes? Are their peers fucks? Like, can we change that? Can we look into that first and prevent even the thought of mass shootings and then move on to guns? We can do both. We can even do both simultaneously. You can't look at one without the other. If we look at gun control, we're just gonna have psycho fucks with bombs. Like, that's just all it's gonna be. If we don't look at mental health.
That is another thing that I think needs to be fixed, and that's where I'm saying the NRA is only half spending their money. I think when they lobby these motherfuckers, I'm gonna call them weak ass motherfuckers. These guys, these government guys who will take the money, and all they do is they just perpetuate this excuse to do nothing, and then they do nothing. I think they need to make part of their lobbying, their stipulation, to fund mental health. Because a big thing that the Republicans, the right side, have been doing is they've been defunding mental health all over the place.
Right.
That happened in Iowa. In Iowa, it is very hard. I know a lot of people who are in the psychology department that can hardly get a job right now because of the fact that Republican people removed mental health.
Yeah.
Okay? We need to be funding mental health. If you want to keep your guns, okay? If you want a shot at it at least, fund mental health.
Right.
Make that a part of the stipulation. Your money's only being half spent.
Look at every single one. Every single mass killing within our grounds that isn't specifically terrorism on a religious stance, okay? Even then, I think there's an argument those people are fucking crazy. Right, but if we get rid of religious genocide and shit like that, when you look at like Columbine, the Florida shooting, nightclub shootings and shit like that, when they're going, which that's kind of a religious thing, like the gay nightclub in Orlando.
But they're mentally ill.
But that's mentally ill.
I think there's even an argument in terrorism that's mental illness.
It is, but
I understand that there's more of a motivation behind that, but every case there's mental illness lying behind that, and if you funded that a little bit more, I mean, I would at least have your back a little more.
There was,
but you're defunding, and that makes you a part of the problem.
There was a Twitter post that said that that Tide started locking up or making it harder for their Tide Pods to be accessible because kids were eating Tide Pods and getting into it. Here's the deal. We have full-grown adults and like 18, 17, 16-year-old kids who know better to not eat Tide Pods. We have kids eating fucking Tide Pods. Okay. So putting Tide Pods up, it's just like...
Here's my beef with the Tide Pod thing, okay? First of all, a lot of people are using that as an excuse, again, to do nothing. When they say, oh, I refuse to argue with any generation that eats Tide Pods. You're just making an excuse to do nothing. But here's the thing about Tide Pods, okay? The reason why the Tide Pod Challenge became a thing, got big, and then actual people did it. People started doing fake Tide Pod challenges. They did fake ones. Mm-hmm. They did. They put it out there. And then some people thought that was real. And they didn't do it because they were like... They knew there was a risk about eating Tide Pods and soap. But the reason why they did it was to get famous. It was narcissism. Purely. Okay? It's not about a generation being too stupid. It is about narcissism and a generation trying to get famous.
But there's where I disagree, because I think it is stupidity to say, I'm going to put my life at risk. Like the guy, I don't know if you watched the video.
He had the guy with the gun?
No, he had his thumb out and he was on right next to a train, had his thumb out in his head and had his camera, and the train hit him. Boom. Live. You can see him knocked down. He's alive today. He's okay.
There was a kid. They were like, I want to say they were both like 16 or 17. They had a child with them. They both had a child together. It was a boy and a girl. They were trying to get famous on YouTube. A guy held a book to his chest and had his girlfriend shoot him with a fucking Desert Eagle gun. Okay? Thinking that he would block the bullet with a book.
See, that's
a thick
not...
book.
That
and
is narcissism.
The reason why they did it was because they wanted to get famous on YouTube.
That is narcissism, but that is being uneducated and something... Narcissism is a disease, sickness in your head. When you're narcissistic, you literally have a mental... Like, it's actually a disease.
I think there's an argument to say that, like, you need a healthy balance of ego.
Yes.
But you shouldn't be so narcissistic that you need to be, like, you need the attention. That's a problem.
See, now, but people are actually diagnosed by medical doctors that say, hey, you have narcissism. You are narcissistic. You actually...
Don't you feel, though, that almost treads a little bit into the whole, like, issue of people being like, I have a disease, and you're like...
Right. But that's just where we get into the point where we need to start talking about education and mental health and that. And when we have kids who are eating Tide Pods, we've got to look at the fact that we have kids who are eating Tide Pods and the kids are shooting people up. Somewhere down the line, it stems from this uneducated.
Okay, I think there's an argument to be made there.
Uneducated mental issues.
Yeah, I guess that does fall. Okay, so let's read Ted Harry real quick because Ted Harry popped up. Ted Harry, I really hope that you subscribe and come back too because you're like a lot of fun. It's really fun interacting. Christopher Goodrich, also thank you for still
being main man since day one.
So Ted Harry, here are our laws. Only get a gun for a reason. Vermin control, gun club, hunting, home defense. Locks are for that. So I guess you must have locks for your gun. Guns must be kept in a safe. 7-shot clips. No pistols. No carry or you're dead. I'm assuming if you walked around with a pistol, you'd be shot down by like the police or something. Like they would shoot you down instantly. And that's fine. That's Ted Harry, when someone is diagnosed with a mental condition here, they are simply checked for a gun license. Then the gun is taken off of them. It's quite simple when people look for solutions, not problems. Right? And that's honestly, that's all that I ask. So I'm going to play devil's advocate for that argument specifically, though. If you start that process to be able to say, okay, you're mentally ill, we've had this licensed professional say that you're mentally ill, we're taking away your guns. The thing that the NRA and that all gun owners are afraid of is giving the government, the people who don't care about what we think, giving them that power it could be abused that they will be able to take away all of our guns one by one, subtly, until only a select few have guns, and then we are indefensible. That is the argument, and I understand that. Again, though, when is it going to be when is it going to stop? How many times are people going to be able to shoot up an entire school before that argument is invalid? I think we're already there, but it's just, so the thing about it is I'm okay with like pistols. I'm a little worried about it. But at the same time, like Darian's talking about, AR-15s, semi-automatic rifles. And like you said, it's for different purposes. If you were if you want to buy an AR-15 and a bump stock, you have to be a part of a militia. Boom. But people are so that's the thing though, is like we were built. It is still one of our founding values, this idea of the Second Amendment. And it's one of those things that we still treasure and hold. So it makes our country extremely complex. And Ted, you said that's an outdated idea, but not to a lot of us. Like a lot of us in this country, that is a huge value that we still hold. And it is built in our idea of patriotism and things that in the foundation of what we are built on. And the reason why is for this idea of a regulated militia to be able to make the government fear us and listen to us. Those were our founding fathers' ideas. That doesn't just come from ignorant rednecks. That comes from the people that made our country. The guys that we say, like, yeah, George Washington, he had it. And yeah, you can make the argument that, like, oh, they were slave owners and shit. That's a different argument. But the point is like, we want the government to be, and people are like, yeah, but the government, like, my dad and I have argued with this. The government could wipe us out in a minute. Okay? My personal opinion, this, like, when it came to the Revolutionary War, the reason why we won was because we were smarter. We were outgunned, outmatched, out everything, except for we outsmarted them.
We did a lot of guerrilla warfare, which
and
wasn't...
we won. And that's not to say that we will win if we have to fight the government, but it is to say
it's a hope.
That there's a chance, that there's a hope, and that there's a reason to hang on to that idea. But we need to categorize it properly. We need militia.
By the way, tweet at me, send me a Facebook message if you want to start a militia. I'm all down. I'm up.
I don't want to start a militia.
Let's do it.
I'm nothing.
Not you, but anybody.
Harry, we have independent reserve army. They have tanks and artillery. Training checks arguably more effective than disorganized civilians with guns. We're not talking about... Well, and that's a good point. We need to be more organized about it. And that's what I think. I think the NRA needs to be more organized. They need to, like, push behind this idea, and they need to stop half spending their money. They need to, like, put some stuff behind it. And I'm not saying, like, you know... And maybe that's it. Maybe, like, two different names. Like, this whole idea...
You know...
Independent reserve should be our militia. We should have tanks. We should have all this. Especially with as much as we fund our fucking military. Could we put some of that aside to have an independent reserve? And then, oh my God, it'd be so interesting.
Oh, but the government, it's the government. Well, it's the government. It's government money. Why would they want to use that to find an anti-government?
Because it is in the values of our Constitution. So
right.
What's anti-government is actually pro-government. It is the founding principles of our country. These are all pipe dreams.
Remember what you said earlier? They don't give a fuck.
They really don't. They don't. If you think the government gives a fuck about you here, I'm sorry. There's only one person I've ever seen, and I voted for him in the primaries. And I'd vote for him again. And I know nobody likes him, but Bernie 2020. I think Bernie would shake that shit up. Okay? I get you may not believe in socialism and all that, and that's fine. But you know what? I think he would break the ice on all that shit and start a revolution when it comes to the politics.
If he doesn't die before then.
Trump. Do you realize how fucking
70.
old Trump is? Trump is old as shit.
Yeah.
He is super... That dude wears diapers on the golf course. Have you seen that?
No,
like, he for real does. You can see the way that his pants fit. That old man is wearing Depends. Trump is old, too. Like, people... Like, they were like, Bernie's too old. And then they voted for Trump. And I'm like... Like, are you kidding me?
Like...
And that was my reason not to vote for McCain. Was because I'm like, he's an old cripple. But McCain could have been president. He could have. Yeah. Like, he would have survived the whole presidency. Just fine. He's just now, like, sick.
I wanted to talk about this a little bit ago about the golf course thing and how people have a real issue with him going golfing. You know, that's Trump's way of doing business, is golfing.
Who's he doing business with?
I don't know exactly who he's doing business with.
So here's the problem that people have with it. This is the effective argument that people have against it. That was his criticism for Obama. So it is hypocritical of him to go out and golf when he specifically bitched about Obama golfing. 2, okay? How much he has spent on like the what is that? The protection, the White House service, the Secret Service. How much he has spent on it. He blew the budget for the Secret Service in the entire year's budget. He blew it in like a month and a half.
People wanted him dead. They wanted his head cut off.
But here's the thing. He's golfing every single weekend. And then he has Melania still living in New York. And then he has all of his kids living in New York and traveling in business. His budget for the Secret Service, he blew in a month and a half. And part of it was because he was golfing every single weekend. And it's just this idea that, like, I'm fine. If that's how you do business, that's great. But you're spending too much money.
America's money.
Yeah, too much of our money. And you're also, like, that was also a bitch that you had. He was bitching about that against Obama. Take 5 seconds to go, all right, I get his perspective on that. I get Obama's perspective on
right.
that.
Now, so here's my disagreement and agreement towards that is that if he was able to do, because it's unconstitutional for him to keep business running, for him to keep not business running, but to take profit from business.
Okay.
While he's in the house, right? While he's president, he can't be collecting his Trump Tower profit.
Yeah. Well, that's why he gave it to his kids.
Right. He has America's money. If that wasn't unconstitutional, let that motherfucker spend his billions of dollars to keep protection, his billions of dollars to go golfing and do all this shit, which, by the way, golfing is a very effective way to do business. That's what Obama used golfing for. It wasn't to get away. It was to do business, to talk to people, to talk to representatives and shit.
Golfing. I'm just not cool with him
spending so America's money.
And then bitching about someone else golfing.
But
like,
he's not.
Motherfucker, you were golfing.
He's not allowed to spend his own money because he doesn't. It's America's money that he's able to spend.
Yeah. Which
is bullshit. He should be able to spend whatever money he wants to spend, and that way we can stop bitching about him spending America's money.
Do you think he's going to change that?
No. If he sees enough of people bitching about shit, and he sees like enough of it, people really fucking hate when I do this. That's why he's starting to compromise with people on guns. The AR-15 thing that we're talking about. The reason he's doing this is because he's tired of people hating on him so much.
Trump is that guy I've seen, from what I've seen on Trump, he's that guy that when he gets pushed, he doesn't cave, he pushes back. And he pushes back irregardless of whether it's, like, good for anyone else. It's just him, he just fucking, like, he's got a temper. And I don't see him fixing the golf thing. Because I think he's more like he's gonna be sitting there holding your America's money, going, I can't finger and do this at the same time.
What?
Sorry, I was trying to do both at the same time.
Finger and do this at the same time.
I understand your need for defense against government. There is a saying: guns don't kill people, people kill people. By that argument, we don't need guns to scare our government. They can't beat unity.
Beat unity. Beat them.
They can't beat the unified
masses.
I really hate this argument of guns don't kill people, people kill people, or the vice versa, the argument against it, because it just, like, it's been, to me, it's such a trivial argument. We all know people kill people.
Okay.
We all know that guns can be used to kill people. I think the intention behind the argument, and this is my thought. So I've seen a lot of people argue, okay, guns are just a tool, just like a lighter, a knife, and all these things that can be used to kill people or burn people down. Here's the thing, okay?
Guns are the most effective tool.
Well, no. Okay, yes, you can stab someone with a knife. Yes, you can burn someone's house down with a lighter. Yes, you can assault someone with a baseball bat. But those three things have a primary purpose above killing. Baseball bats are for playing baseball. Lighters are for lighting, like lighting cigarettes,
lighting the grill.
Lighting your grill, stuff like lighting candles. Knives are for, like, slicing meat, preparing food, cutting things. Their primary purpose is not to harm someone. A gun, this is what's really funny. I said a gun has one primary purpose, and that is to build a vacuum through someone's body, whether it be killing or harming them. And someone goes, or defense.
What are you doing?
By creating a vacuum through someone's body. I said, you have to shoot someone for them to fucking know you're going to use that gun. Like, it's primary. Yes, the image of the gun goes, oh shit. But at the same time, the primary purpose is to shoot something or someone with it.
Right.
Don't ever, like, that argument that guns and knives, or that knives and lighters and all that shit are on the same level. That is a bullshit argument. You're stupid for making that argument. I'm sorry. It doesn't make any sense. So, this idea, and I think that's the point of the guns don't kill people, people kill people thing, is the idea that guns are a tool. They have one primary purpose.
Right.
Okay? And it may not be to kill people. It could be to, like, blow a hole through something. Like, I've seen people in shows, you know, shoot a door and it creates a hole and then they're able to open that door. Fine, but it still is this destructive force that creates a vacuum through things. Its primary force is destruction.
Yes. Yeah.
Sorry.
With that, we should probably, well,
we're at 4:33.
Yeah, but I just wanted to move on in the conversation.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
So, I did
We spent like an hour and a half talking about gun control.
Yeah.
Maybe an hour, I would say. Like an hour and 15 minutes. So, yeah. So,
I wanted to talk about upcoming schedule.
Oh.
I have over the March 11th through the 17th. Well, technically from the 12th through the 15th or whatever, but we're leaving this 11th, getting back to 17th of March. And it's actually going to happen unless the car blows up or something. I'm going to Panama City, Florida.
Okay.
So that week I will be gone, and I'm just going to be chilling, ass in the water, toes in the sand.
Yeah. So around
That's
that
backwards,
time,
toes in the water, ass in the sand. But
so around that time, we obviously won't be doing a stream. What do you think about next Wednesday? Are we good?
What's the date on that?
So it is the 21st, so that should be the 28th.
Yeah.
Of February. We should be. So I like this idea.
That is my brother's birthday, but this
motherfucker.
The 3rd of March is when he is celebrating his birthday with his friends. So we might have like a dinner for him.
Well, so you should probably be good around similar times,
right? Because I'm gonna have class still and everything.
Yeah, and then like by you can bounce out by 4:30, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
So the reason why Fridays are a problem because like it actually cuts into me spending time with my wife.
Mm-hmm.
And you can tell she's not digging that. Like, she was napping on the couch last week, and she was just like... So I think we should definitely stick with Wednesdays now that they work. Especially, I have the whole day Wednesday off, so...
And we're the midweek hump. We're the watch us and have fun with the rest of your week kind of show.
So... and then I'm going to work on, I did get an MP3 to MP4 converter. I have to re-download it and then like remove some stuff. I think I figured out how to make things work. Ted Harry, you have guns. If a tyrannical government thought they could control you with bigger guns, they might do it. The typical Australian attitude is we would rather eat lead than be fucked, so no tyranny.
Okay.
Cool. So yeah, so
aggressive
next week,
view.
Next week we're gonna do again Wednesday, and so like this Friday is not a problem, but like the following Friday I'm actually out of town the entire weekend. So guys, if you want to hit us up, we've got @CatchyJD for Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Not Discord. That is just simply a chat box image that I have to fix. If you want to catch us personally on Twitter, I'm @JDiehm, JAYDIEHM. Imagine die. JDiehm. And then you're @DeliciousD.
No, I am D Darian 048 across the board.
Everywhere that matters.
Everywhere that matters.
I'm JDiehm, basically everywhere that matters. I also do regular Twitch streams, both cooking and gaming. So feel free to check those out. If you want to hit me up on Twitch, say hi. And then we're going to be doing this every Wednesday around 3-ish. 3-ish. So, you know.
As long as you tell me to be here by 2:45, 2:50. Yeah,
last week he was like, oh, hit me up at 2:50 and tell me I should be here around 3-ish. He was here at 2:55. He was early. This is the first ever fucking time.
And any time we've ever worked together at anything, me being early is a very rare case.
Right. So it was a beautiful day. And we've actually had a really nice long podcast chat. Everything's been running super smooth today.
Just that real quick. What was going on right in the beginning? That whole switcheroo that you did.
Oh, I don't know why. The mics just weren't working. So all I have to do is reset the mics. So I set it to a different mic and then set it back. But since we have two mics, I just set it to each other's mics. I just flipped them around. It doesn't actually matter. Like, it's not like they're hearing from different angles. It's just in the computer program. Mm-hmm. It makes sense. So I just flipped it around and that got our mics going again. That's a big problem that I have with microphones. Every now and then it just drops out or stops working, or and I've restarted my computer probably 3 times today because I was doing like just routine maintenance to make sure everything runs smooth. I think last week a big problem too was I had a bunch of malware on here, which is hard. Like, it's hard, and I've run that malware thing like 70 times. Nothing pops up. That day I had like a whole bunch of malware, so I got rid of the malware. I ran through and got rid of the spyware. Spyware pops up like that, no problem. So you just get rid of spyware easy. I did some maintenance on the computer. I made sure I unplugged shit and then replugged shit in. Because if I try and do that while I have my computer on, it'll shut my computer off.
Oh, yeah?
Something with the USB plugs have turned my computer off, and it pisses me off. And then I have to reset everything back once you're done for my Twitch streams. And then I unplug this microphone, and it just sits over here. And I had to get this all set up because I think that thing's the devil. I have had a crazy busy day, though. Like, I have been moving since I got up, but I didn't get out of bed till like 10:30. I was lazy as shit. This is my day off, so I got up. I woke up at like 9 and just watched TV on my phone. And then I got up and I did a workout. My workout regimen, I'm back on it. It sucks.
What do you do?
So every other day, starting with Tuesday, I run a 5K. So Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. And then every other day, starting with Monday, I do like a different workout routine that my wife sets up for me. So, Monday was triceps and biceps and core, and today was chest, back, and core.
Do you work out here, or do you go somewhere?
So I work out downstairs on Mondays so I can watch TV. But the rest of the stuff I have to do at the gym where my wife works. My wife's a personal trainer. There's a level of irony to our relationship that's completely unexplained. I don't know. Anyways, today scared the hell out of me, though. Because I was doing, like, so I'm laying on my back, and I take the weight bars, and I hold them out like this, and I go like that. And I'm laying on my back, and you have to go like that. Oh, it hurts so bad.
Oh, like a little skull crusher kind of situation.
Yeah. And so I heard it. Good job, Yanks. If you think Trump is a dick, tell him. Our prime minister did. Remember who your politicians work for. Peace out. Thank you. So I was doing this, and I heard and I felt the sharp pain, and I was like, oh shit. Like, cause that usually means you fucked yourself up. Like,
was it just your shoulder coming out of?
No, it wasn't my shoulder. It was like it was in the muscle of my shoulder blade. I felt, but it feels okay right now. But I'm worried I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and be like, oh, I'm fucked up forever.
So you know what's been going on with me? I've been having nerve issues. My toes were tingling for a little bit, and then I snapped my leg and I hit my foot around, and it stopped tingling because I think I had a pinched nerve.
Oh.
And then I had a pinch. If I were to extend my arm, there would be a big vibration in my elbow, and then my fingers would go numb. And if I bring them back, they're back to feeling.
Okay. And
so I went to the chiropractor today, which that nerve issue hasn't risen again today, but I don't know. But I'm more fucked up than I was with my back and everything. and my neck is hurting, but I don't. It was just.
That's the danger of a chiropractor. Is sometimes you can come out more fucked up than you are good.
I think I heard him go, "Please," before he cracked my neck. You don't want to hear a chiropractor go, "Please," and then crack somebody's neck. And it didn't crack when he did it.
Please.
It didn't crack. It just got stiff for a second, and then.
If you want to know something cathartic, I watched a video the other day of chiropractors popping like parts of people's bodies, and like they'd roll their hip and you would hear it, and I'm like, oh, that sounds lovely.
Do you watch ASMR videos?
No.
Do you know what ASMR is?
No.
Look up massage ASMR.
That sounds horrifying.
No, it's not. If you like that. That is what this is.
The only thing I couldn't handle though is they take a towel and they wrap it around like here, and then they go and pull, and that is the only thing where I'm like, fuck no. Right. Like I don't mind having things popped and jolted, but I don't want anybody wrapping a towel around my neck and like because that like it's already scary enough having people because I'm still worried if I do this like because I do it a lot. I'm worried one day I'm gonna break my neck. Like right. I'm terrified. Not that it's gonna kill me, but that it's gonna fuck me up for days.
Right. See, my uncle is a chiropractor, and he just knows his shit. But every time I go to crack my neck, I'm like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna go paralyzed.
Was your uncle the one whispering in your ear like, please?
No, it wasn't. He lives in Kansas, so I only get to have him crack my back. Like he's the one I trust the most. But anyways, so I want to bring it back to ASMR for a second. You don't know what that is.
No.
You've never heard of that.
No.
That is a huge genre on YouTube.
It's probably something like Pimple Popper.
No. Listen.
I hate Pimple Popper.
It is huge. I can recommend some after this. One of the guys I love to watch is Ephemeral Rift. It's one of those things where when you want to go to bed, you plug headphones into your phone. You just lay down and you watch it, and he plays like sounds that
You've
make
told
you
me about that.
Feel that just. You know what those little head massager things?
Yeah.
They have the little prongs like that?
Yeah.
It's what it feels like. And for some people...
You've told me about this.
All throughout your body.
I remember now.
It's weird. And there's a lot of it. There's some with people eating, like Chick-fil-A. I hate it. I hate the sound of people chewing.
You know what the weird... There's like... So, if we want to get into the weird shit on the internet, there are portly ladies... who get paid to just eat on webcam, and guys just to it. They just love it. They love watching.
That's crazy.
They love watching obese women eat food, like fast food and shit, and they get paid. Like they get money. There's a lady I was watching her. She's like my 600-pound life, except she doesn't want to change. She wants to get fatter. She's like at 1,000 pounds right now, and she wants to get fatter. And she gets paid to just eat burgers on a webcam. And that's how she makes her living.
Hold up. If you're okay with that, that is the best fucking way to live. If you're okay with the health conditions that can arise from that, and like the probably not ever being able to get out of your fucking bed, literally.
I'm fine with this idea that like I would get paid to eat burgers on a webcam. What I'm not fine with is the idea of knowing that someone's on the other end just beating off. Like
okay.
It's like if they were just paying to eat, like watch me, but like just know they're like, yeah, fatty, yeah.
I don't understand that.
It's like no, I can't. Like
That makes the list of my top 3 weirdest fetishes. The other 2 being peeing on people and octopus tentacle porn.
You're not you have a very shallow list and you have not explored the internet.
I've explored it. I know them.
There's some weird shit out there.
I just get a tentacle porn, letting an octopus explore your body.
That I understand, but like, and what was the other one?
Pissing on people and
pissing on people.
Like girls just laying in the middle of a mat and letting 8 dudes piss on her. That's it. Nothing sexual about it. Just pissing on them.
I don't think that's that. Like, I think it's weird. I don't think it's the top weird.
That's my top for.
I think there's stuff like like because some people get off with murder and torture. There's like. I don't know.
I don't want to sound psychotic. That is understandable. Like, have you seen like 50 Shades of Grey?
I think peeing is more understandable than torture. 50 Shades of Grey is different though. That's like, so that is a consensual, like, I hurt you a little bit type of stuff. It's not like snuff porn, which is like where you murder someone on camera, like cutting the jugular and shit like that. That's some fucked up shit.
I know it's fucked up.
People watch that. I think that's weirder than peeing. I think like peeing on someone. Because here's the thing. Okay,
murder is an addictive thing to some people.
Let's talk about peeing for a second. But like, have you peed post ejaculation? You know what I mean?
Like you ejaculate and instantly piss afterwards?
No. Well, you go pee after, or you know, like post coitus. Do you ever pee post coitus?
And it comes out in 3 different streams. Like,
I don't personally have that issue, but like it feels good to pee. Like it feels good to pee, and it feels kind of good after that too. It feels good. It's a pleasure. So like I can imagine someone in the middle of sex peeing like that, that being a good sensation, but being attracted to watching people have body parts cut off, be mutilated, to blood, to that stuff, to be murdered. That to me is top fucked up.
But see, that's control. There's a huge horniness towards control. Really, money. Thinking about money, sometimes I have.
Do you pop a chub over money?
Yes, I sometimes get very excited when I think about being money, like just a good money life.
So I mean, there's a difference though between endorphins and sexuality, though.
There are, but it's just like,
I mean, you can tie them together, but I don't see that being. This is a really fucked up turn on this conversation.
Fuck. Who cares? We've
but,
explored.
But my personal opinion is that like sexually. So we're talking about ranking sexual weirdness. Oh my God. We will talk about anything here, apparently. When you were like, let's talk about anything. And I was like, I don't really care where we go. And then we end up here and I'm like, I'm not against it. I'm just like blown away by where we land.
Remember the very first day where we started talking about where's our line? When we're going to explore and we're going to find our line.
We're pushing that line.
It's just moving away from us.
I thought our most weird shit was going to be the gun control conversation. No. And Ted Harry popped in, and that was great.
Jared, we are on episode 8. We are here.
We are.
On episode 8. Listen, episode 8 of how many? We could get up to episode 500 and think of the crazy fucking shit that we could be talking about.
Oh, man. It's going to get weird
we
from
would
here.
Just push lines.
Christopher Goodrich. This is the best part of the live stream. Let's get more weirder.
Okay. Now,
Christopher Goodrich, I'm not going to bust out any cheeseburgers for you, buddy. I'm sorry. No, I just think and that's where we started, was the conversation about like women who eat on camera.
Right.
For money. Like, they make a living off of that. That's the American dream.
You know what?
Making a living off of eating on webcam.
If I didn't have a like another image, like a Skype kind of thing going on about some dude jerking off to me eating a burger, I wouldn't care. If I couldn't see it happening, how do I know it's not another woman pleasuring herself, you know?
I think you know that it's working when you start getting the money for that, because they don't. So what happens is you don't get the money. Like, I mean, it's like tip. What they do is they tip and they and you earn like subscription services. That's how like doing anything on camera. And then I thought about how weird the other day it was that I just play video games and make money. Well, I don't make money. I don't. But people do. They play video games and make money. Like, there's this guy I've been watching. His name is Smokin' Dank. Yep. Mm-hmm. He's a Twitch streamer. And he makes money. And he basically plays video games and hits his bong on camera. That's about it. Or his pipe. I think he said it was a pipe.
You've seen Xcode on YouTube?
No.
He's a video game guy who's just... Yeah. He has video games, and then he has sessions on like how to roll joints and shit. So it's like...
Well, YouTube makes a little more sense because you're making advertisement money. But I've always felt that... Darian, JK. Oh, he wants you to eat the cheeseburger. Eat that fucking cheeseburger.
All right.
Boy. Eat that fucking cheeseburger, boy.
Wait.
Anyways.
Oh, hold on.
YouTube makes more sense because there's AdSense. Like, you make money from advertisements, where, like, Twitch is, like, basically tips. They have things called bits, so people can either buy bits on Amazon, or they can watch advertisements to get bits, and it's like they're throwing pennies at you. And then there's, and then you get the subscription to where they remove ads from your channel. It doesn't make sense to me, but I like the idea of being able to exploit something easier than that.
Right. You know? Now I want to go back. Do I have to get naked while I eat this cheeseburger? That's the other part.
I don't know. That's a good question.
I mean, I can show you my titties if you want to see my titties, but
I don't know if they eat naked on camera or if they just eat. I would assume eating naked helps.
I don't know. Or maybe you just have some really skinny person, but like with multiple layers of clothes on that make them look fat, and they're eating cheeseburgers. So.
You can just put on a fat suit.
Yeah.
I could be like the guy from This Is Us, Toby. Have you seen This Is Us? There's a gentleman named Toby on there, and he's supposed to be a fat guy. And if you actually if you've seen the actor, he's skinny. He's pretty thin.
Yeah.
He wears a huge fat suit.
Well, it's like
he pulls it off very well.
Mike Myers with Fat Bastard, kind of like that.
Not to that extent, because that was a lot of makeup and like layers of fat, and like there's points where Fat Bastard's not even wearing a shirt.
Yeah.
And they leave him up with grease. Oh, Fat Bastard's so gross. Toby's just like he wears a coat, and then has like a bodysuit that fills in. It's interesting.
I see.
So okay, so I think it's gonna be a good place to stop, guys. We've had a really good discussion. Thank you.
Piss, guns, and murdering people.
Thank you, Ted Harry. Thank you, Christopher Goodrich. Thank you, anybody, for watching. Guys, hit subscribe. We're going to be doing this weekly. Hit us up, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube.
Again, if you want us to talk about something, let us know, and we will try to fit that into the...
Yeah, send us a message. Christopher Goodrich. No cheeseburgers, but what would you like to hear about?
Unless you want to talk about good cheeseburger recipes, I think we can do that for you.
Or just good cheeseburgers we've had.
Yeah.
I've actually got stories about cheeseburgers. I do. I'll tell them next week.
Well, I mean, I was a competitive eater for a while, so I've got shit
what?
about that. You knew this.
You told me once, didn't you? How do you get into competitive eating?
You just start small. You go to like places like Jethro's and you order the Jethro's Adam Necker whatever challenge.
I have a dream of doing a hot dog eating competition, but not winning, just eating a lot of hot dogs.
I did that with my dad when I was 13. We both had put 12 down.
I would be like, they'd be like, and competition's over, and I'd be like, and you're gonna leave this plate here, and I'm gonna keep going, and I'm gonna bust out some ketchup. Okay, see y'all's.
My first ever small time gig. It wasn't a gig. My first ever small time challenge was a 3-pound burrito.
It was a gig, motherfucker.
It was a 3-pound burrito with a bunch of guacamole and sour cream and shit on the side. In 30 minutes or less. I did that, motherfucker. But anyways.
All right. So we're going to end here, guys. Thanks for watching. You're going to catch us next time, Wednesday at 3-ish Central Time. Check us out, and we'll be back.
Bye.